And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Tuesday, September 10th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. We welcome you. It is a terrific Tuesday here in the Cedar City, and we're glad to have you with us this morning. And, of course, each Tuesday our program is presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and we've got a couple of seminars that we want to talk to you. Well, actually, we've got a stroke support group coming up, and we have a hip and knee pain seminar. And I'm going to mention both of those this morning. And first, we'll talk about the stroke support group, which meets September the 12th, and then it'll meet again on November 14th at 5 p.m. at 500 Park Avenue. That's on the ground floor of the McFarland Conference Room. And what this is, a stroke support group, promotes optimism, resilience, determination, and independence by sharing experiences, exchanging resources, socializing, gaining knowledge, problem solving, giving mutual support. And everyone is welcome. Friends and family are encouraged to attend. Light refreshments are provided, but space is limited, so you need to reserve your spot. You can do that by going to VanderbiltWilsonCountyHospital.com/events, or you can call 615-443-6807. And that is coming up on September the 12th. And then on September 17th, this will be the hip and knee pain seminar. This will be during the noon hour, actually from 11:30 to 12:30 on September 17th at the hospital. Enter through the outpatient center entrance at 1411 West Padua Parkway. You can attend this community seminar, which is hosted by an orthopedic surgeon, where you'll learn about surgical options that can provide relief from your joint pain. And they'll discuss robotic-assisted knee replacement and hip replacement options as well. Again, space is limited, so reserve your spot. Go to the website, VanderbiltWilsonCountyHospital.com/events, or you can call 615-443-2560. And just a quick reminder of the 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, which continues at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Less waiting time where it matters most in the emergency room. They work diligently to have you initially seen by a medical professional in 30 minutes or less. And with a dedicated team of medical specialists, they can provide a lot more care if you need it. Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, 1411 West Padua Parkway, right here in Lebanon, Tennessee. All right, it is time to introduce my guest this morning, and we're very happy to have City Manager Kenny Martin from the City of Mount Juliet. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
All right. I am glad to see you this morning. I promise I won't call you Jamie.
Oh, man, you can call me Jamie anytime you want to. He and I like to say he just had a birthday, and he likes to say I always say, man, you're getting old. And he says, well, I'm only about 20 minutes older than you are. So he's just had a rougher life. So he's probably listening out there. Jamie's awesome. And we were talking, Coleman and I, of course, you and I were talking this morning about he's got all these unique sayings. He can, out of nowhere, he just comes up with something, and literally I call him the Yogi Bear of Mount Juliet.
Well, last time, Yogi told me, he says, you can call me Kenny if you want to. And lo and behold, before the program was over, I slipped up and called him Kenny. I'm sorry, Kenny.
No, it's okay. Hey, I'm sure he was immensely offended. He probably came back a little bit upset about that. No, he actually came back, and he did tell me that. I didn't get a chance to listen in that morning. But, yeah, Jamie's a good one. I tell you, if you can't get in a good mood being around Jamie, there's something wrong with you.
All right, you had a meeting last night?
Yes, sir, we did. Had a really
call it the Board of Commissioners.
Board of Commissioners meeting, and it had a really good night. Of course, we got a new commissioner, Miss Jennifer Mullally, who is the appointed district commissioner for District 4. It's her second meeting. She's doing a fantastic job. She's been working hard over the last several weeks to get acclimated to some of the departments. Took a tour of the police department. Of course, she's getting acclimated to all the departments. Spent some time at City Hall. Really digging in, putting in a lot of effort, a lot of work, doing a wonderful job.
Well, any big news from last night?
Yeah, well, the thing that started the meeting off, which is always great, because a lot of times with all the serious business of being adults, sometimes we forget that we were once kids. And I had a Girl Scout group that reached out to us as a result of we do a lot of city cleanup, and there was a Girl Scout crew that had bought and purchased through their fundraising efforts basically a safety kit for anybody that's ever going to be picking up trash. The signage, the gloves, the vest, the things of that nature, and I call it den or pack leader. reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want to let you know that this is available, and we've donated to Charted Angels Park, and we appreciate what you're doing as well." And the reason that they did this is, a lot of your listeners, and you may recall, last year, I forgot which state it was in, but there was a young Girl Scout and I think the den mother that were struck and killed. They were doing a roadside trash pickup. And unfortunately, a car had left the roadway and struck them. So they thought, well, you know what, some better visibility. So I was really impressed with that. And, of course, we always love bringing the Cub Scouts and the Girl Scouts and things of that nature to City Hall. And so we invited them all in, and the mayor and the commission gave them challenge coins. The den leader got to speak about them. All the little girls got to come up front. They were just beaming, and sort of puts things into perspective about really what we do, is for our community and also for our kids. And it makes you realize just how precious this county is if you really take time to focus on it. It's real easy to focus on those stuff. So that set the tone for what I felt like was would be a great meeting, and it was. It went really well. Probably one of the most important things that was talked about last night, and I want to commend the commission. They didn't have to do this, but they've put forward about $100,000 for our police department to buy what's called license plate readers. They have more of a technical term, I'm sure, but basically what that enables our police department, our city to do is place cameras, not for like traffic enforcement or anything like that, in strategic locations around the city to basically, they take pictures of license plates, but the only one they register are the ones that were either stolen, involved in some type of crime, or for like some type of, murder suspect or something like that. And that information can immediately go to the police department so they know to send officers to that particular location, hopefully locate the vehicle. And Hendersonville has implemented the same program. And just last week, I want to say it's 4 to 6 different individuals that it had registered that the vehicle was stolen. So it, of course, alerted the police department headquarters. They dispatched officers, and they ended up catching these folks.
Wow. So $100,000 to implement that.
Yep.
How far will that get you? I mean, you have cameras in strategic positions.
And I think this puts maybe about 6 cameras out there. But what's so cool about it is the reason they had the meeting last night, it got approved in the budget, so we'd already had it and hadn't picked a vendor yet. It was to make sure that we're very transparent, because we understand that folks, through privacy and things of that nature, want to make sure that the city's just not taking pictures of everybody's license plates to try to get into your business, figure out what you're doing. It's specifically for trying to reduce crime and catch these folks that are stealing automobiles and committing these crimes. And to be honest with you, it's probably one of the highest crimes right now, stolen vehicles, especially with teens. And we're just trying to combat that. So I commend the commission. I commend the police department and our city and citizens for supporting that.
Well, I would have to say, if my car got stolen, I would love for that to be somewhere and they catch who got it and bring me my car back.
Exactly. That's exactly right. The hope is that you can do that. And a lot of times they want to run and flee. And if you can think strategically about, where the car is at, you can sort of think about that ahead of time as you're heading to that direction to track the car, setting up spike strips, things of that nature. So you're going to start probably seeing that a lot in a lot of different communities. And again, it's not to get anybody's business. It's just another tool for our police department to make our community even safer.
Yeah, it's a shame that we have that problem. But we got to, as this old saying is, fight fire with fire,
Yeah. Well, I can tell you one easy fix, not to get too much into the police world, but and Commissioner Justice, if he's out there listening, he knows it. Lock your car. Don't leave any weapons or any kind of valuables or anything like that in it, because what they'll do is they'll just simply walk around and pull on door handles. The old days, they smash the window. Of course, don't get me wrong. If you got your wallet or purse laying in the seat or a weapon, they'll smash the glass to get that because they know something in there. But if they can pull that handle open, they're going to rummage through it and just lock it.
And it's that simple.
It's that simple, and that makes a tremendous difference. It's very seldom a car gets stolen that didn't have the keys in it or wasn't unlocked.
And we've been saying this. I'll bet you, we've not just been saying, we've been preaching this here on this program for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
And people still forget.
They do.
And we live in a habit or whatever.
They do, and we live in a beautiful community, and it's safe. But anywhere crime knows no jurisdictions, knows no boundaries, and and it'll. If you can just lock your car. For example, my wife had gotten home. She's semi-disabled yesterday, and she'd pulled up front. And we have a little front drive in the front. And so I made sure before we went to bed to pull her car back into the garage. It's just one more safety thing. If you have a garage, put it in there. If you don't, just lock it.
Be sure. Well, it's okay to lock it if it's in the garage.
Exactly. Yeah. If you really want to be really safe, lock it in the garage. But the one other thing I'd be remiss in not saying, I don't want to get to going too much. You let me know when you need a break. Is Commissioner Justice, his birthday is going to be September 14th. I think he's going to be 35. I think he said last night. Now, you may know better.
He meant 53, didn't he?
That's what he, yeah. Maybe he meant 53 or something. But, yeah, he's his birthday's come up.
Yeah, I know. My wife turned 47.
That's right, 47. Exactly. I'm just 32, so I don't even know what in the world. But happy birthday to Commissioner Justice on the 14th. And he's been really working hard, and so is the entire commission. But he in particular and Commissioner Giles, we have an event coming up called Celebrate Mount Juliet. It's the first edition, or I guess you'd say first annual Celebrate Mount Juliet. It's going to be pretty cool. And he's wrote some notes here. The first thing that starts out that morning is at 8 a.m. It's a walk, run, and roll. And that'll start out and run till about 11 o'clock. And then at 11 o'clock, local band called Cedar Creek, for which our very own Commissioner Justice plays vocals and lead guitar, I believe it is. They'll be opening up for a band called Little Texas. Now, you guys may be familiar with them. They had a ton of hits, probably mostly in the 90s, but they have not stopped touring for 30 years. And this is actually their 30th anniversary. And I think their bass player lives in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. And so we're going to have them be our feature band on the 24th of September. And they will start playing, I believe it is at 12:30. And I believe they go for 90 minutes until 2 p.m. Mm-hmm. So we're really excited about that. There's going to be a car show and cornhole and games for kids. And there's going to be a history walk that basically just has all this history for the city of Mount Juliet. And the Commissioner Justice had a vision for that. And, of course, Commissioner Giles had the vision for the BPAC.
Right.
So both of those things are really taking off. I'm excited about it because for somebody that's been there 30 years, we really hadn't had a lot of things that sort of were symbolic to our city. So it's exciting to see these kind of things come along.
Okay. Kenny Martin, the city manager for City of Mount Juliet, is my guest. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And we'll take a break here on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:16. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford. Regular oil change, best price around $28.95. That's up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. 1673 West Main, Bates Ford. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. The police are working a wreck in South Nashville. It's going to be Nolensville Pike at Old Burkett Road. It's already crazy slow now, leaving Nolensville, trying to get up Nolensville Pike there up by Burkett Road. 4600 block of Clarksville Pike in Bordeaux. That's a crash. It's bumper to bumper now, 65 southbound here at Trinity Lane. Hey, it's the 40th annual Oktoberfest in Germantown. Kicks off Thursday, October 10th through the 13th. Check it out, thenashvilleoktoberfest.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
It's a new day at Lebanon Health and Rehabilitation. Lebanon Health and Rehabilitation has experienced new leadership, a new atmosphere at the same location in the heart of Lebanon, located at 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Health and Rehabilitation is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. It's a new day at Lebanon Health Care and Rehabilitation.
Head coach Mike Vrabel's in year number 2 with talent on defense.
It's intercepted. Kevin Myers, Jarrell Casey, Christian Evans, Landry with the sack.
Join us right here with the voice of the Titans, Mike Keefe, and Coach Dave McGinnis.
Brought to you by Absolute Kubota Exmart, Bates Ford, Fakes and Hooker, Steve Moore Plumbing, and the Jewelers.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
Hi, everybody. It's Tommy Bryan. Tune in on Saturdays throughout the fall as Cumberland University's Phoenix takes on the very best in small college football. Cumberland goes on the road to play at Thomas More University Saturday, September 14th. Kickoff is at 12:30. Join me and Bob Lee Saturdays during the college football season right here on WANT and WCOR.
Well, we welcome you to Coleman and Company here on this Tuesday morning. Again, our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Kenny Martin is here, who is the city manager for the city of Mount Juliet. All right, you had a good meeting last night. You did talk about the Girl Scouts presenting this. It's a safety package, like if you're out on the highway picking up trash or something.
Yep.
Which you gave them recognition. And, of course, Mount Juliet Day. What are you calling this?
Celebrate Mount
Juliet.
Yeah. And,
24th.
Really excited about that. And like I said, a lot of folks put a whole lot of work in that. Our Parks Department, of course, Commissioner of Justice, and hopefully the weather will work for us. This time of year is usually pretty good, it seems like, for weather. But we're excited about it. It's free of charge, no cost whatsoever. There'll be food trucks, things of that nature. I mean, if you just want to have a great time at no cost to you, that entire morning can be awesome. You can either come out and do the walk and run,
and hear Commissioner Justice sing and
sing. There's nothing like it. I mean, it's just like perfect, and it is. He's a very talented individual. I mean, he's got wonderful penmanship, and he's got a great voice. So, just good opportunity. You know, I think there might even be a Dunkin' booth or something. I think that they were trying to wrangle some people up for. So, it'll be a beautiful time of year, and we appreciate.
Well, if you want to make some money, get him on the Dunkin' booth.
That's what I'm talking about. We'd make millions probably. I did that once, and I thought I'm never doing it again because the water, after about the 15th person I got in it, it was a little questionable, and I was like, I don't know about that. I'm not. I did it, but I thought I've been asked many times since then. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't think I want to do that again. But good meeting. It's funny, we were talking at the break about handguns and, and carry and things of that nature. And I know everybody's got an opinion on it. And our most important thing is we just want people to be safe, and everybody agrees that guns don't necessarily kill people. People do, and that's very sad. And somebody will always use something, I guess. But one of the topics that we had talked about last night, one of our commissioners in our commission, to some degree, is passionate about people being able to protect themselves. Mm-hmm. And so there's been some debate and some discussion, and we're going to make sure we vet it properly and make sure it's something that protects everybody and it's done wisely. And that's why we deferred it again last night. And we've been talking about this probably since 2013, is to give employees, if they choose, if you've got a handgun carry permit, to be able to conceal your personal weapon if you were to bring it to work, as long as you kept it concealed. And that's being debated right now. And there's a lot of different issues to talk about there. People probably bring them onto the premises. They probably got them in their cars currently. Yeah. But this would allow basically an employee under the Constitution, if you've got the handgun carry permit, to actually physically carry your weapon with you concealed. Not as part of your daily duties, just for your own personal protection, like you would if you went anywhere else that you're permitted to carry it. So that's being talked about, and the commission will have to decide upon that, right. Not staff.
Well, I have often wondered how many people actually have some sort of gun or weapon that they just secretly, don't tell anybody about it, maybe their spouse or whatever, but nobody really knows, but I can't help but think there's a lot of that goes on because people are afraid of being unprotected.
Yeah, especially when you think of just how close it's been here to home. I mean, it's that's subject to happening anywhere. Just like we talked about earlier with carjackings and car burglaries or car thefts. It's sad, that you'd have folks that would do that because that's just evil and mean, and a lot of hatred, I guess, built up in some people, and you hate that. And it's just, how do you do that? What is the proper way to set something up to where somebody could do that and it'd be safe? Because you've got the worries of, you've always got somebody that's going to put it where it should be. Maybe they'll get it out and want to show somebody, or inadvertently drop it, or stick it in their desk drawer and forget it. And those are things you got to think about. That's the sad thing about it, is that you feel like that you live in a society, a day and time, to where people just walk into churches and schools and city halls and government facilities or anywhere and do something tragic. And so it's a tough decision that the commission will have to decide upon, but we'll support whatever they decide.
Do you think something, though, will some piece of legislation will come through describing what is allowed and maybe not allowed?
Yeah, I do. And I think that probably the most important two things I think the city is looking at right now is of course, the liability. You got to think about that. Mm-hmm. Is it put the citizens in our city necessarily in more harm by allowing it? And that's most important, because our job is to protect the citizenry first. For example, is there any risk that if you were to allow this, that the city would become uninsured insurance-wise? Yeah. So it was talked about last night at the meeting, and it is a tough decision. And our commission is very torn about it. And to their credit, they've been very strategic, and they're going to do the right thing regardless at the end of the day. But you're right, there's plenty of people that are priority carrying it. They're good law-abiding citizens. And there's also equally a lot of people out there that could care less if you had a legal handgun carry permit or not. They're going to carry it. Yeah. And then there's those that have ill will in their hearts and criminal element that. it is what it is, but it's something we have to talk about these days to determine what is the right thing. At least having the conversation is healthy. Not to have it would be, maybe unfortunate, I guess.
You got other action last night?
I do. I think I'd mentioned, of course, Miss Jennifer Mullally. I did talk about that. I got a little bit of bad news, which is sad for our city, and the mayor mentioned it last night in the commission, and we hate to see her go, but Miss Jessica Gore, which I think you've heard that name before, absolutely fabulous lady. We hired her about 5 years ago. It was a blessing. Our previous public works director and engineer had retired, and so we posted to hire a deputy and a director. And so the same day, basically, we, the city, hired Miss Gore as our director of public works, and Andy Barlow, our assistant public works director. And fortunately, Miss Gore is very direct. I mean, she just tells it like it is, and I love it because she's been sweet early on, and she said, well, thank goodness I liked my deputy public works director since you'd already hired him for me. Yeah. And she said it in such a cool way, but she said they went to church together and their kids knew each other and some different circles that they ran together in, which was pretty cool. And it's worked out like a blessing because she came to me last week, I believe it was Tuesday. And I knew something was up because she wouldn't tell me what it is. And she knows usually I'll say, well, what do you want to meet about? And she said, well, I'll tell you when I see you. And I was just sensing that it was bad news. And bad news is that she's leaving our city to go into business for herself, basically. But she'll still be there in city. She's an engineer, a civil engineer, so she's going to go into business for herself. And it's not that she's not happy with the city. Sometimes as an adult, it's an opportunity. Yeah, and she sees some opportunity there. And the neat thing about it is I think what she's done for the city, which is phenomenal, to come in and to have never been a public works director and hit the ground running and to do what she's done and to transform that department. And plus, she's strategically placed Mr. Barlow, who will end up being our public works director, in a position of success. I mean, the department is running like a fine old machine. I hate to see her go, and I've kidded her 2 or 3 times. I said, you're going to stay, aren't you? And but we're happy for her and her family. I'm a firm believer if you and your family talk about it and you pray about it and that's what you decide you want to do, then I'd probably be improper for me to try to talk you out. It'd be selfish to see her go. But I wish her well and wanted to say that this morning on the radio that if you know Miss Gore and you see her between now and October 2nd, wish her well. And but I want to thank her because, there's no better thing to tell somebody, what can you tell them when you've done well other than well done? And so that's another thing there. Other than that, a lot of new business. I was trying to scan through to make sure there wasn't something else that I wasn't covering. We had some annexations and things of that nature. Another thing I do want to talk about is got a big groundbreaking coming up. Judge Sellers, who you know well here with Sellers Funeral Homes in Mount Juliet, he has a retail center in Mount Juliet that is on property that used to be owned by the city of Mount Juliet. And a few years ago, we did a land swap. I don't know if people remember that.
Yes, I do.
And he developed and we took the old property. Well, we ended up putting that property up for sale, and Mr. Sellers bought it back, which is fine. It could have been bought by anybody. What's exciting about it is he's very methodical. He's a very good businessman. And so what he's decided to do is he's been pitching this property for years. And I'm trying to think of the date now. I'm losing track on the date. Anyway, he's got an upcoming ribbon cutting, and if anybody's curious about that ribbon cutting, please call me. But I will tell you this. It's going to be very exciting news.
I've been alerted to this by somebody else from your community.
Yes.
And nobody will tell me anything other than it's big and it's exciting.
It's big, and I actually, the mayor wanted to last night because the mayor has actually figured out what it is. Those that were involved in the process had to sign a confidentiality agreement. And the mayor...
Don't you hate that?
I do. Yeah. I even sent Mr. Sellers a note last night during the commission meeting because I really wanted our mayor to be able to announce it at the meeting. But but the judge, held strong and said, if you don't mind, I'd really rather wait to that day. But it's going to be exciting news, not only for our city, but for our county. Because this is a bit of a tourist attraction. From what I understand, the other location, which is in Gatlinburg, brings in about 5 million visitors a year. So we're anticipating, from what I understand, about 1 million here. But it's just a beautiful business. The mayor is really excited about it, and he knows a lot more about it than I do. And he said, trust me, you're going to like it. But they're going to have 2 marching bands, a choir. They're expecting 300 or 400 people there. And I'm like, I don't know where we're going to put them on the site. But it's exciting news because, our town, unlike Lebanon, Lebanon's always had this beautiful square. And every town's got a square. It's just beautiful. And our city has never really had that central point. We were built on the rail lines. and sort of but now our city's starting to transition into a downtown with a clock tower. This particular new building, when the announcement comes, it's got a bell tower. And then with Vending Station North coming in downtown and all the other new businesses coming in downtown, we're creating a downtown district, I guess you'd say, that complements our north and south parts of our city. We have Northtown, and then we have the Providence area. So just blessed, just excited. I mean, I could go on about a ton of new businesses coming, that this entire county's seeing some blessings.
Well, you got a minute and a half. All the new business you can tell us in a minute and a half.
Yep. I don't know the name yet, but there's new Vietnamese. If you like Vietnamese food, I've never had it, but apparently a lot of people that like that type of food are excited about it. It's going in the old barbecue location downtown Mount Juliet. We have a new restaurant called Slim Chickens coming. They hadn't broke ground yet. We have a Slotsky's Deli coming. We have the at-home store that just opened. The Honda dealership, Music City Honda, should be opening toward the end of this year. We have a new learning experience coming. We have a Haagen-Dazs ice cream parlor that's coming, and just a multitude of other things. But before I get off here, and I think I got 1 minute, I want to thank our staff. Our staff is absolutely phenomenal. Our elected body is absolutely phenomenal. In my 30 years there, I think it's the best it's ever been. You always say that you don't think you can ever top yourself. Is it getting a tad worse by losing Miss Gore? Absolutely. But I feel confident Mr. Barlow can do that, and we've got some people inside that will be blessed by going into that deputy position and so on. And if your department heads have done a good job, you leave it in a position to where somebody else can pick up the reins and go. To me, that's a sign of success. And just what's going on in this county, we can't do what we do in Mount Juliet without the fine folks in Lebanon and Watertown and the county. I know that sounds so cliche and hokey, but it's the truth. Everything that came long before Kenny Martin or anything that we're doing in the city of Mount Juliet comes as a result of the fine people in this county. And I don't think we give ourselves or our people maybe that much credit. We don't realize the teamwork that it takes. Do we always get along? No. But at the end of the day, all these organizations, and just like yourself with this fine radio station, thank you for what you do, because it gives us a platform to get out there and promote what we're doing.
We're always glad to have you, and our time is up this morning. Kenny Martin, City Manager for the City of Mount Juliet, and our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. This is Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
Let's go ahead and see what's happening on the roadways. Now, 7:32. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota and Rental Lamprey. Quality tractor implements, including cutters, finish box. They do a great job at Absolute Kubota. 5-year gearbox warranty, extremely durable and well built. They have finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's extremely heavy now on 24 as we look at it live here up through the Hickory Hollow area, making your way towards Nashville out of Rutherford County, leaving Murfreesboro. Traffic's on the increase now on 65 up through, Spring Hill. All that traffic out of Murray into Williamson County on 65 all the way up through Brentwood. It's a crash 4600 block of Clarksville Pike. Hey, Around the Neighborhood Oil Change can come to you at home or work, saving you time and money. Call Around the Neighborhood Oil Change, 709-2645. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air, 237-3604.
If you're a fan of Wilson County High School football, make sure to tune in to the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show every Friday after the Lebanon High football game right here on WANT 98.9. Hi, I'm John Boyce. Trent Perry and myself will have all the mid-state scores as well as interviews from each coach within the county. The Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Designers Carpet, Fakes and Hooker, Lebanon Appliance, Mitchie's Landscape and Design, Palometto's Insurance, Kenny Salas and Justin Davis with Blackwell Realty, and Sammy Bees. The Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show every Friday night.
It's all about taking care of you, and THW Insurance will do just that. Are you looking for home or auto insurance? THW represents Westfield Insurance and other fine companies. Together, we will protect you and your family. Call Jeff Lee at 615-547-5646 or stop in and see him at the Wilson Bank and Trust main office.
Lots of sunshine is back in the forecast for your Tuesday, but the big story will be the heat. Highs today will climb all the way into the upper 90s. If you're going to be out and about this evening, no problems weather-wise. Skies will turn partly cloudy during the overnight with lows staying on the warm side. We'll bottom out in the lower 70s by early tomorrow morning. That's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Nisa Lomax.
We welcome you to part 2 of Coleman & Company. It is a Tuesday. Tuesdays at this time we talk about Hearthside Senior Living, and Sean Dozier graces our presence. We're glad to have him this morning, Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living.
It's always great to be here on Tuesdays, Coleman.
We're always glad to have you. Find out what's happening in your retirement and assisted living community.
Well, this week is National Assisted Living Week. I know everybody is excited about that, but it's a great week. It's a great week to honor, all of our staff who do a great job. We have several wonderful assisted livings in our community. Several. Mount Juliet, Lebanon. We're blessed to have several wonderful.
There are choices.
There are choices, which is wonderful. And I tell you what, day in and day out, it never stops. 24/7. Our staff continue to provide great service. Great. They love our residents. So this is a week we honor them, and we appreciate all they do.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're glad to know about that, and of course, we're always glad to know how things are going at Hearthside. But honestly, since it started in 1994, Hearthside has done pretty well, hasn't it?
It's done very well. Long before I got there, the rooms continue to stay full. We have served hundreds of folks over the years, and they continue to provide great service, And then in 2010, we started our independent living homes, which right now we're completely sold out, which is fantastic. I had the tour yesterday. I have several people over the last several weeks that really want to get in that community. So we're taking a wait list, so to speak. We'll call people if one becomes available. But those homes are 2 to 3 bedroom homes, maintenance-free living, handicap accessible, safe, Christian environment. It's just a wonderful community down there. A lot of wonderful folks down there who just keep that community going strong.
Yeah, and eventually there's going to be 30 homes.
30 homes. We have
15 twin homes.
That's right.
Say.
That's right.
So you have one neighbor that's real close, and the others are in close proximity.
That's right. That's right. So we do a lot of things together. We have a clubhouse down there where we have a lot of events for our residents down there. We have 2 more we're building right now. They have a contract on them. So.
Spoken for.
So by the end of the year, we'll have all 30 folks in that community settled, which I'm excited about.
Well, I don't know when the idea started in 2010, how long the planning time was expected.
Well, I think it was pretty quickly, but 2010, the economy was pretty rough, and it got off to a slow start. But a couple years after that, it started moving very, very quickly.
Well, you've come in to see the finish of this,
right.
And that's got to be good and rewarding.
It is.
Put the finishing touch on something started.
Put a cherry on top.
Put
a cherry on top, and a lot of work has gone into it long before I got there, and a lot of folks did a lot of work and a lot of planning, and it's paid off. It really has.
Well, we do want to remind people you have a website.
We have a website, yeah.
HearthsideLiving.com.
Yeah. And we have our phone number, 615-443-1994, our Facebook page where we post a lot of activities on there where folks can see a lot of things, and we just have a wonderful time.
Well, if you want to know more, you can come by, and Sean will probably even give you a cup of coffee while you talk.
Give you a tour. You can have lunch on us, and I said we were full. Actually, we have one room available right now, one large room. So if you're thinking about it, a couple months from now, if you're thinking about it, come by and give us a checkout.
Well, every time you come out here, you have somebody to wish or to give a Hearthside hello to.
Yes,
I'm sure you have this morning.
I was in Claiborne yesterday, and I saw Billy Joe Pickler. You know Billy Joe Pickler?
Billy Joe Pickler.
His daughter runs Claiborne's. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He talked to me, and he listens to you and listens to us here every Tuesday. So hello to Billy Joe Pickler.
What else? Anything else?
Well, you got the A-team here today, so I'll get out of the way.
You're not in. Listen, our advertisers are never in the way. Okay.
I know. You got a great guest here today, so I'll slip on out. But I appreciate everybody come out and see us. I want to thank all of our staff. This is Assisted Living Week, so I appreciate all they do for me.
Well, we appreciate all they do for you and the community and all the people they've helped over the years and all they're going to help in time to come. So,
have a great week.
All right, you too. Sean Dozier, he's Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living, Retirement and Assisted Living Community at 215 Castle Heights Avenue North, right here in Lebanon, Tennessee. We're about 22 before the hour. And I do have two people who are my guests here for part two this morning. From the Lebanon Special School District, we have Pam Sampson and Becky Kegley. Ladies, good morning to you both.
Good morning.
That was nice. Both of you had positions of principalship. You were principals in the schools, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but at the beginning of the school year last year, the 2018-2019 year, your boss decided that he wanted you to do something else, and you both have a big title now, and it's not principal of a school, but we're glad to have you both with us this morning. Pam Sampson, Director of Teaching and Learning, right?
That is correct.
And Becky Kegley, Assistant Director of Schools.
Yes, sir.
And I was thinking, I got information y'all were going to be here yesterday, and instead of Mr. Benson, and he always does a great job, by the way.
He does.
Scott and I have gotten to know each other a little bit better as he's come out here. Of course, we both have an interest in sports, which we talk a little bit about on air and a lot more off. But anyway, I got the information you were going to be here, and I was just thinking, I was a little bit surprised when he made that move, and I just wonder what it's like. I thought I'd just ask both of you this, and then we'll get to what y'all want to talk about. But start with you, Becky. You were the first principal, I believe, at Winfrey Bryant. Is that right?
That's right.
And you had been over there for some time, and then Mr. Benson says, "I want you to be assistant director of schools." How was that out of the blue? Were you expecting it? And what was your reaction?
Well, I'd been at Winfrey Bryant for 7 years there in a hard hat while they were building the school, so it was kind of my baby. But then he asked me to be originally the director of support services, so I spent a year in that position, and the whole goal of that was to have somebody come in and support our principals and support in a lot of non-academic areas. And Ms. Sampson and I, Pam and I, came over at the same time. And then last year, towards the end of the school year, he asked me to go ahead and step up and take on the title of assistant director of school. So it's been exciting. You miss your baby at first, but I'm very fortunate I get to be in all of the schools and help students and families and principals and staff at all the schools. So still get to have some of those things that, just get your day going right every day. So.
Well, I guess we do like change, maybe. Sometimes change can be hard. Sometimes we're reluctant to change, but then sometimes after we do, we see that it was a good thing. So you seem to be happy.
Well, I am. And I will say I was probably a little reluctant at first, really wanted to think about it. But when I realized the opportunities and the role that I could play in helping Lebanon Special School District and do some of the things on a bigger scale that I had done at Winfrey Bryant individually, that was really exciting. So I've enjoyed that.
Okay, Pam, let's hear your story.
Sir.
So it's kind of the same thing. You were in the same situation, right? Being a principal
I was,
and asked to move somewhere else. Okay.
When I started at the central office, I actually started out working as an academic interventionist and an instructional coordinator. So I worked with all of the schools and helping with our RTI programs last year and supporting that. It was a difficult decision to leave because I'd been in the schools so long and in our district for a long time, and knowing that I would not have that direct relation with the children's coming in and seeing them in the morning and supporting them. But I realized very quickly that I was able to support all schools. As Becky said, we're in every school in our district daily, and we try to support our principals, support our teachers, and to be there for those students to help them with that learning process. So it's still rewarding. But it is a little bit different.
A little bit different. Now, and
right.
you've got another school that's coming online before long.
We do.
I guess y'all are involved in planning for it too,
yes,
which
sir.
you probably wouldn't have been as much if you hadn't moved up.
That's right.
That's very true.
Yeah. Okay, what y'all got this morning? You both brought some notes here, and I just know you're supposed to be here. I don't know what else to ask.
Well, we just wanted to talk a little bit about what we do and how we support the school system and some of the great things that are going on in the system. And we kind of have a dual role in that Pam is extra support in one area, and I'm extra support in another area. And then, I work with all of that. But in our schools today, there's more need for support for families and students than ever before. And it truly does take a village. They say it takes a village, and it does even in the school system. And we have so many areas that contribute to the well-being and success of our kids, everything from transportation to after-school care and the health services, all of those areas that chip in to try to create successful children and support families. So, one of the things that I do is help support in those non-academic areas. Pam can tell you a little bit more about what she does to support in the academic areas. But, we want to grow students to be contributing citizens later, good parents, good employees. And so we have several goals. One of those is to offer a multi-tiered level of support for families and for students in whatever area that may be. Sometimes that's in personal competencies, social competencies. We've got kindness program that takes place. Relationships matter. All that's a part of our goals. And so we have things in place to help grow students to what we hope they'll be in the future.
Okay, Pam, we'll let you comment here, and then we need to take a break. So
okay.
Along that same line.
Well, as we talk about helping the whole child, academics are always important, and we want to focus on that. But we also want to train our teachers to make learning fun, to make it engaging, and to make sure that our students want to come to school. And that would be meeting the needs of the whole child, academically, socially, and emotionally. And we try to do that with professional developments we offer, training our teachers, providing resources and materials for them to make that learning engaging.
Okay, we are going to take a break right here. More with Pam Sampson and Becky Kegley from the Lebanon Special School District coming up here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways thanks to Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. It's $39.95. You get a tire rotation, safety check, 5 quarts of oil plus tax and disposal. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Accident involving injuries out on the west side of Nashville. It's going to be the 7000 block of Highway 70. It's heavy out here on 40 East coming through Kingston Springs. All that traffic coming out of Dixon County through that area right now. Bumper to bumper 65 south at Trinity Lane. Still a lot of traffic in from Wilson County on 40 westbound here through Mount Juliet. It's the 40th annual Oktoberfest in Germantown. Kicks off Thursday, October 10th through the 13th. Check out the details, thenashvilleoktoberfest.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
Hi, everybody. Tommy Bryant. Join me every Friday at 6:30. Lebanon High Football takes on some of the very best competition, brought to you by Absolute Kubota, D.T. McCall and Sons, K. Maynard State Farm Insurance, Bakes and Hooker, Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, Wilson County Sheriff Robert Bryan, Wilson Bank and Trust, Dickey's Barbecue Pit, and A.G. and Johnson Realty and Auction. The Blue Devils play at Laverne Friday, September 13th.
Now you can get a great-looking cut in less time every time with an Exmark. The Mowers Landscape Pros trust 2-to-1 over the next best-selling brand of mowers. Right now, step up to Exmark with their newly redesigned Quest Zero-Turn Riders, the Exmark Radius, or go pro with the Exmark Laser Z, the most respected zero-turn mower in the business. Check them out today at Absolute Kubota, 1325 West Main Street in Lebanon. Exmark, ready to work for you.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here now. Our final segment for this Tuesday morning. Let me just quickly remind you that WANT is now archiving every Coleman and Company show online, and I tried this the other day. It's very easy. You just go to WANTFM.com, scroll down the page a little, and click on the link that says Details underneath Coleman and Company. It'll take you to a page with a link that says Click here to listen to previous interviews, and the shows are posted each weekday morning about an hour after they air. So, Becky Kegley and Pam Sampson, if you want to, you can hear yourself at 10 o'clock if you tune to WCOR 1490, but if you don't have time to do that and sometime you want to go back and listen next week or whenever, the program is archived. How about that?
Oh, that's great. Yes.
Well, it's something different and something new. Years ago, we couldn't do anything like that.
That's right.
And there's always something to be thankful for. I'm glad some of my mistakes are not there for posterity.
I agree.
We are glad to have both of you today, and if you're just joining us, both of these ladies were principals in the Lebanon Special School District, and now Pam Sampson is Director of Teaching and Learning, and Becky Kegley is Assistant Director of Schools, and they're kind of talking about what they're doing. And by the way, we do need to establish that Mr. Scott Benson is on special assignment this morning.
That is correct.
That's
He wanted to be sure that you
he's
knew
away,
that.
He's away from the office.
That is right. That is right.
What else we need to talk about today? What else would you like to tell us about what you do in the special school district?
I think one thing that we pride ourselves is knowing our students, and all of our teachers working so diligently to know how to engage their children, how to teach their children, and then to challenge them to be the very best that they can be, to have high expectations for all of our students. And our teachers, we have PLCs, which are stockpile days where they come together. We had one yesterday where our teachers will get together and meet to discuss the achievement scores of our students, to look at our formative assessments, and to talk about what we need to do next and letting that data drive their instruction. So that's one thing that we do, collaborating together, and the teachers work together to see how can we improve what we're doing in the classroom every day. And I think that's unique to our district because our teachers are so willing to collaborate and work together and then pull together so that every child succeeds.
Well, you want each one to do the very best they can, to be the best they can. I think we all would agree on that. How you do that is the big question, maybe. But I think education maybe has come a long way to what it was 50 years ago. You either got it or you didn't.
That's very true.
And maybe you just felt like, well, there's some that's going to excel and some aren't. But you're saying everybody needs to move up here, and we need to help them all we can.
That's right. And one of the programs that we have with our intervention is if they did not understand the standards or they hadn't mastered those standards that were taught that previous 4.5 weeks, we have intervention classes where we can reteach. Maybe a different teacher reteaching that same standard to help that child. And if they did master, we also have enrichment programs. So our students can move on in that standard and go to more depth and learn something, research, do a project-based learning activity, but something for every child. And that would just be within 1 hour of the day that we take that time to make sure everybody's getting what they need in all 6 of our schools.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know there's one school, I passed by it, and it says we're glad to be a reward school. I forgot which one it is, but that's...
we actually have 2. Walter J. Baird was a reward school for the 2nd year in a row, and then Coles Ferry Elementary was also a reward school.
I think in the area that I passed by. But anyway, that's nice too.
It is.
That's a sign of achievement too, that they're doing well.
It is. And, it's about the students. Everything that we focus on, and Mr. Benson's always been great about making sure that we stay focused on the child and focused on what the children need. And learning has to be fun. It has to be engaging, and making sure that our schools provide that. And I feel like we do a great job of that.
The teachers really buying into this concept and this way of doing things.
I think they are. I mean, they really do care about their students. They work so hard. Hours after the school closes, you're going to see teachers in every school working to try to find new strategies or new ways to engage their students. And that is a tribute to what they do because they love their students and they want the best for them.
Anything you want to add to that, or go in a different direction, Becky?
Well, I was just going to say, teaching is a really complicated career these days, and I guess it always has been.
Both of you been teachers. You've been
Yes.
Okay, so you've been there, done that.
We have.
Okay, good.
Both of us
All
have,
aspects.
Both of us have lots of years of experience these days. But teaching and the needs of children, you mentioned they come to us with all different needs as far as academic needs are concerned. And our job is to try to close that gap. And then they come with a lot of, emotional needs as well. One of the things we did yesterday, Pam mentioned that we had a stockpile day and trained teachers yesterday. 2 of our elementary schools started a program, and the other 2 will join in January. But we were working on training teachers about trauma-informed practices for students, about looking at adverse childhood experiences, things that we can do to build strong brains, and how the things that happen to a child prior sometimes to them coming to us or in their daily lives can really affect their learning. And so teachers not only work with the academic needs, the reading skills, but they also work with trying to help them through some of the things that take place in their life. School is to be a safe place. It's to be a place where you come every day and you know that you're loved and appreciated for who you are. And so we're working really hard with some of our new positions that we have. In our central office, we've got someone there now that is a certified behavior support analyst, and she helps us with children that have special needs emotionally. But our teachers have to work with students and take them from where they are and try to make them the very best they can be academically, socially. So we really want to be a support system for our families and our students.
What kind of teacher to pupil ratio, teacher to student ratio do you have? You have, for the most part, smaller classroom size?
Well, there is a state guideline, and it's different for each grade level.
Yeah.
But we make sure that we abide by that, and our teachers do a great job of individualizing for every one of those students in the classroom. So we're very fortunate.
Mm-hmm. And in the lower grades, you wouldn't have more than 20 students typically in a room. In the middle schools, it probably ranges from 25 to 28 in a room. So, and we do have educational assistants who support the teaching in the classrooms, that come in and help with that. So that offers another little bit of assistance with our students.
Well, I know you're proud of the system, especially happy to have 2 reward schools. That indicates you're really on the ball there.
That's right.
But doesn't mean that the others can't be maybe in the future and will. So it's a big team effort too. Isn't it? I mean, it all starts, I guess, with Mr. Benson.
It does, right. It does. That's right.
Getting good people in place and really preaching the teamwork.
It is. And with Becky and I just coming out of the school and being a principal, we're able to help our principals because we've been in their shoes. To help the assistant principals, we've been in their shoes. And we, and I speak for Becky because we've talked about it before. We don't ever want to forget what it's like to be in that school day in and day out and as a teacher and to be able to support them with the things they need. And that's why we're here. We're here to provide resources to support them, just to listen sometimes if that's what they need. But we want to provide them with that support as a team so that we all will be successful.
Well, times have changed in we have a lot more diversity here. We have people from different backgrounds, even people who maybe are even learning English at this time. Years ago, we just didn't have that. So you do adapt and change with the times, and I think that you are always looking for innovative ways to make the teaching better, to enhance learning, where it can go quicker, better.
That's a transition that's a little bit difficult. Stan Blades works with some of our different ethnical groups, and we have an ELL program. And they did start a newcomer class this year just to help with that transition of our non-English speaking students, to help get them acclimated to the schools and to our vocabulary and to our language. So that has been something we've had to begin this year.
Right. Well, I know that Mr. Benson's always looking at the numbers, and you may not be growing as fast as the county. You're not as big, but you've had growth, and there's more there this year than there were last year.
We have, and it seems like every time we turn around or there's a holiday or a day off, we come back and there are a few more students. But we're very fortunate. We are small when you compare to a big county system. But one of the great things about that is we're community schools, and our families trust us, and they really feel that we have the best interest of the students at heart, and they know that they're in good hands when they drop that child off at the door, when they put that child on the bus, and they come to us every single day. And that community faith and trust goes a long way in helping us with our mission as well.
All right, we've got a minute and a half left here. It's really nice to have both of you here this morning, and even though you're not principals of schools anymore, you're helping the principals, and and I guess there's quite a challenge to what you're doing, but with the challenge that's out there, you don't get bored, do you?
Never get bored. There's never a dull moment, that's for sure.
No, we don't get bored, and we're pretty busy. So,
well, when's we got a break coming up?
Fall break coming up the first 2 weeks in October.
Okay, so that's not too far away.
It's not. It's not. Everybody looks forward to a break. All teachers and students as well.
I got just a second. I didn't realize so much till one day I was over at Castle Heights, and it was at the end of the day, and they found out there wasn't going to be school tomorrow because they were expecting snow, and the teachers, I couldn't believe how excited they were as excited as the students were.
They are. Maybe more so than the students sometimes.
Well, thank you all for being with us. Our time is up this morning, but Pam Sampson, Director of Teaching and Learning, and Becky Kegley, Assistant Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District, have been my guest. And again, Director of Schools Scott Benson on assignment anyway. I guess it's special.
That's right.
Thank you all a lot. Appreciate having you. That is going to do it for Tuesday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Wednesday edition. And until tomorrow, I wish you a terrific day.